Does being a woman gives the woman rights that's above the law, where they're able to murder an unborn child without consequences? It's interesting that when we talk about abortion issues, the first thing that a lot of females bring up is rape or incest. When if you do the numbers, how many pregnancies occur as a result of rape or incest compared to the number of abortions that occur from females just wanting to get rid of the child, not willing to step up and take responsibility for choices that they made. In spite of all the birth control methods that's available out there, they fight and protest the right to murder an unborn child that have no voice to speak outside of voices like mine and people who protest and support the rights of that unborn child. Now, yes, it is your right. It's your body. You do what you want with your body. But when it comes to that human life, that other body that's within your body, you have no rights over the life or death of that child. Now, I understand that there's a lot of females that believe that they are God. A lot of these so-called pro-black conscious males put it in your head that you are God. So now you have so many females that have a God complex, that feel they have a right to choose whether or not a child be born or a child should die, although she refused to take advantage of all the available child support methods. Which leads me to wonder, does women have rights that's above the law solely because of the fact that she's a woman? There are so many females love to throw up. You're not a woman, you don't understand, and if you're not a woman, you have no say in what a woman does, not only with her body, but the child that that man helped to conceive. It took two to tangle. And it's interesting that men have no rights over the choice of that woman aborting that child, but yet if a man chooses to walk away from the responsibility of that child, he's forced to pay child support, go to jail, have his license suspended, referred to as a deadbeat. All of these labels that's placed upon men to make men feel bad about walking away from a child, whereas a female can say, I have the right to murder my unborn child, and you being a man, because you're not a woman and you don't understand it, you have no rights to tell me that I can't murder this unborn child. Forget about taking responsibility for your action and even preventing yourself from getting pregnant. See, I have an idea. I actually have a method that could avoid you making that choice, aborting that unborn child. Just have your uterus or your ovaries removed. If you have your ovaries and your uterus removed, then you won't have to worry about making the choice, the savage, brutal choice of murdering an unborn child. You don't want to take birth control pills because they make you sick. They're not good for you. You don't want to use a diaphragm or whatever it's called. You have excuses for not using that. And it's interesting how many females put the responsibility on the guy to make sure that she don't get pregnant although she say it's her body and he has no say over her body. But he's supposed to protect you from getting pregnant without you taking any type of precautions for yourself. And it's interesting that you always have these females that love to throw up rape and incest. What's the number of women that get pregnant as a result of rape and incest, to the point where they need or feel the need to get an abortion, compared to the number of females that abort a child as a form of birth control? What's the number of females that actually get raped and molested? And it's interesting that females are quick to throw up how, especially in the black community, how rape and incest, what about rape? What about incest? What about this? What about that? When you care nothing about rape victims, you care nothing about incest victims, because when your own daughter, think of the number of cases where young girls have come to their moms and said that they were molested or they were raped by your boyfriend, by your living boyfriend, or by a family member. And what did you do? Because of your selfishness, you told that girl it was her fault. You flew into a rage against her. You made her feel, as the victim, you made her feel bad, made it feel like it was her fault that your boyfriend molested her, because you were so in love with that man's dick that you couldn't even think of him touching your daughter. You knew what was going on. But because that man had you so dick whipped that you went against your own daughter that was a victim of rape, or she was a victim of incest, but you protected your boyfriend, you protected that family member, and either told her that she was lying or it was her fault. So when you start talking about rape and incest, you care nothing about rape and incest victims. Think of the number of school teachers, female, that's raping these underage boys. But nobody is out protesting for the rights of these young boys that's being molested. So don't even talk about rape or incest. That's your savage excuse to murder an unborn child. You care nothing about rape. You care nothing about incest. Your only thoughts, you're bloodthirsty and only see abortions. Forget about protecting yourself, preventing yourself from getting pregnant. You feel you should have the rights, and men have no say over what you do with the child that he helped to create. But again, like I said, if you feel that strong about abortions, and you feel that strong about you having the rights to murder an unborn child, instead of having to make that choice and decision, maybe you should just have your ovaries or your uterus removed. Now, there's a female on Instagram that said to me, why don't I just castrate myself? Well, no, I'm not the one that have a problem with children. If I create a child, I'm man enough to take care of my responsibilities. I don't throw them away or murder them. I'm not the one that have a problem, with wanting to have the right to abort an unborn child. You are. It's your body. So why should I have to protect you from getting pregnant when it's your body? And you should do what you need to do to protect yourself or prevent yourself from getting pregnant. And if you make that choice, that conscious choice and decision to abort that baby, then you should be charged for murder, first-degree murder, because you had motive and intent to kill that child and the doctor that performs that murder. should be put to death yourselves. Now, there was a female that also gave a story about a girl that was raped and how she had an abortion because she got pregnant from the rape. It's still a life, still a child. Put the child up for adoption. If you get raped, put the child up for adoption. And you can't say that men don't understand, because men get raped all the time in prison, right? There's a lot of dudes that's got stories of being raped or molested, right? So you being a woman does not put you above the law. It does not put you above the law, and men don't understand. We're not women, so you should be able to do anything you want with your body because you're a woman. That's insane. That's insane. If you break the law, then you have to suffer the consequences of you breaking the law. Murder is murder regardless of how you look at it or who does it. It's savage. So, feedback, tell me what you think. Until next time. I'm fearless.